Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a fantastic rack. I have bingos, and in particular, I have Kensias and intakes. And I think this is the better placement. Well, no bingo here, but I do have chi and chin as means of getting rid of the Q. And there's also an I on the board. I have cheese in column 14 for 32 points, but that would leave 5 consonants, so I'd quite like to play off one of the ends, and chin is the obvious way of achieving that. But it would be a big sacrifice to play chins in column 14 rather than cheese, so I may end up going with the higher score and relying on the vowels on the board to get me out of trouble next turn. But a great start with a bingo. Happens about one game in 7. So are there any other Q plays? Through a C, I would have sank. No C at the moment. And no U on the board. A U would give me Quin and Guchin. I've also got the S for playing chins. Nowhere good for that at the moment. Wow, what a response by opponent. So much for my great start. I now lead by only 12 points. So, what do I have for my Q? The 2 U's that my opponent has played are both hopeless, which is a shame. No C. My cheese spotter's gone. What I can do is chin here for 25 points, quite a good score, and I am playing off 3 tiles, so only keeping 4 consonants rather than 5, and I'm not seeing anything better. Not great, just the solitary vowel, but I have a scoring tile in the F. But I may struggle to get the number of consonants down. A play of fog would again leave 4 consonants. I could play dongs in the bottom right-hand corner, keeping FG. I guess opponent's attention may be in that part of the board. And it is. And opponent now takes the lead. So what can I do with this rack? Well, there is a spot for fog right here for 26 points. And this isn't a terrible rack leave. The eye of intakes goes well with NG. If I simply draw 2 or 3 vowels, I should be in quite a bingo-y position. It's only problematic if I draw 2 or 3 consonants. However, in that eventuality, hopefully the I or the A of intakes will come to my rescue. So, is this the best spot for fog? I think it is. Great, I draw 2 vowels. I have no duplicates. Do I have a bingo? I'm not seeing a 7, although there could be one here. D and G slightly non-synergetic. So how about the I? This would be really high probability. I'm not seeing a play ending ing. So I'm not seeing a play. Can't see any oid ending plays. So what about the A in a double column? Well, again, I'm not seeing anything. How frustrating. This rack looks pretty good. Through GO, I would have Dogonist. Just looking at the other consonants in intakes, I don't think they're particularly helpful. I have the non-prefix in column 9. And I have no scoring tiles, and I'll be breaking up a bingo rack, so not a great position to be in. Opponent provides a floating H. Is that of any use to me? I don't think it is. So, am I sure I have nothing through the I? Very high probability play, but I'm not seeing it. So, what to do here? I'm still looking at these vowels. I would hate to miss a bingo with such a high probability set of tiles, but I'm not seeing anything. So what to do? I could play do, keeping gents. That's not bad, especially given the floating I on the board. It is scoring over 20 points. And do I have anything better? Only my S goes in front of Oda, and I don't have anything to go in front of G. Just coming back to this original 7-tile rack, is there a 7 there? Not seeing it. God sent, not good. So what about the H? Is that definitely not providing a bingo? I don't think it is. Can I do anything better than do? Not a huge number of opportunities on this board. I'm going with this. Not good. I duplicate 2 of the tiles on my rack. However, I think I have E-jesting, which plays in column 8. That could easily go. Not too many opportunities to play around the board. And these floaters look useful. My opponent has got the tempo with us being fairly level. So he may consider a parallel play to take out these floaters. The Sea of Chink is stopping plays in column 11, or restricting them because there are no 2-letter plays ending in C. E-jesting may not be good, I think it is. And if it's not good, I don't think there are any anagrams. Do I have a play beginning with the A or going through the A? It could begin GEA. Not seeing a play. So if my bingo is blocked, I don't have a huge number of options. Unless I have a tile to go in front of Oda. Or unless either of us do. The bottom right isn't particularly helpful. And the S is unlikely to be played in that spot at the moment unless one of us has duplicate S. Still 1 blank to come, still 2 S's unseen. There are no 3-letter front extensions to chin. Guchin is a 2-letter front extension, but that doesn't score very much. And there are no G's unseen. Just considering the other tiles in intakes in case I have an alternative bingo. I might as well take this time to check E-jesting. Yep, that's great. So, well, that's good rather. It'll be great if I am able to play it. What else is available on this board? Well, I think I'll also take this opportunity to do a bit of housekeeping and say that as it's towards the beginning of the month, I have uploaded another video for my Patreon subscribers. This is a bonus video only available to my patrons, and it is a 5-minute game, and patrons have access to the entire back catalogue of 5-minute games, which currently numbers 2 videos. A new one is put up every month. And let me take this opportunity to express my appreciation to all my patrons for their support. Great. I thought opponent would come back. He's usually pretty reliable, but he is taking a while on this play. Down to 12 minutes, and I'm on 16. Wow. Great bingo by opponent. Burns the second blank. Takes out my ejesting spot. Do I have anything? And I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic. This isn't a massively bingo-y set of tiles. I was quite fortunate to spot the bingo that I did. I have nest egg on my rack, but I don't think that's good. Can't see anything with the D or the E. So how can I get rid of one or both G's? Well, I could play Jeanette in column 8. Maybe slightly better Tenge down the bottom. Not a great Rackley, but not a terrible one either. I do trail. So I wonder if it's better to play at the top of the board to create a more volatile board. I'm getting 4 more points by playing down here. I think this is the play. I think it is because Ironize does take an S in front, which I have, so playing Tenge down the bottom leaves row D alone. That does mean I could play Jeanette's straight away. Just wondering if there's a 2G word playable, which gets doubled. Not seeing one. $34 points, only 7 more points, so I think I'll keep the S on my rack with that hot hook available. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, just the solitary vowel. And the V, and I'm not seeing anything. Wow, fantastic play by opponent, 53 points. And the E is not a particularly useful floater. Well, it sort of is useful enough to play Veeps. Opponent has taken out or massively restricted the sirenized opportunity. I can play Veeps for 20. Is that the best I can do? I think it is. It is taking out these 2 E's as floaters, which means the bingo lanes are restricted to the G and D at the bottom, realistically, which is frustrating. But I have to play the V. Where else could it go? And I don't have any vowels for going in front of the G. I do have an E for ZE, but then I'm not going to get rid of the V. So I think I'm going to play this reluctantly. I still have the opportunity of opening up the top of the board. I could play vertically through the V, and that would open up column 5. I'm going with this. Great, that looks a pretty balanced rack. I have Orangest, Ragstone, Stone Rag, Estragon, and one other through the E. And Ragstone would get tripled. And if I hadn't played Veeps, but played off the same letters, I would have had it at the top. That no longer applies. Do I have anything ending P or PS? Wow, Opponent leaves alone this E. That is a stroke of good fortune for me. I was expecting it to be taken. Now, can I do anything better than Ragstone? I didn't finish checking whether I had a bingo through the P. It doesn't look likely. No, I'm not seeing one. Are there any better lanes to consider? And there aren't. So, Ragstone. Let me just check. I know there's 5 here. So, Estragon, Ragstone, Stone Rag, Negators, and Oranges. This is the only one which works. 2 W's and a Y. However, I am now back within sight of my opponent. Well, GST is quite good having 3 consonants. It stops my opponent or massively restricts my opponent making a high-scoring 5-letter play immediately above it. I'm in the same position as the G of fog in that I have no vowel which goes in front of it, which would be an A or a U. At the moment I have an E and an I. So I can play through this G. I have wig. Not great in terms of its rack lead, but okay score-wise. I think through an A I would have Y away, which would get rid of all 3 of my problem tiles. It certainly would be nice to play off at least 2 of them, but I haven't seen any way of doing that yet. Just looking at T, I don't have any. Well, I have my R which can go after it. I don't have anything which goes after ZE apart from E, and a play beginning ER isn't touching my problem tiles. Well, it's unusual not to be able to get rid of 2 of these 3. There are quite a lot of 3-letter plays which achieve that. I have Rye on my rack, in case that plays anywhere. Don't think it does. I also have Wiry. Ragstone's quite nice. It's provided quite a few useful bingo-y floaters, and if opponent plays parallel to Ragstone, there's likely to be a good scoring opportunity immediately above it. All of the high-scoring tiles, the 4 highest scoring tiles, have been played. However, there are a few scoring tiles left, but not too many. Bag is quite bingo-y, apart from the absence of S's and blanks, all of which have been played. Okay, 34 points for opponent, pretty good. He provides nothing. I'm behind, so actually I don't want to expedite the end of the game. And there are no S's or blanks to be chasing after, so actually a play of just wig is quite nice. The rack leave's not great, but I am leaving alone floaters, and I'm providing nothing. Opponent's play of adult has provided no opportunities to follow up. So I think this is okay, and 30 points is a good score. Great, my rack has not deteriorated. Row A quite hot for a 6-letter play beginning above the S, but I don't have anything which can go there. I do have a 6-letter play on my rack. I have Twier, but I'm not seeing anywhere for that to play. And I still don't have a vowel to go in front of the G, and there are 3 A's and a U out there. Let me check the remaining vowel situation. 11 out of 24, so slightly vowel dry, and only 1 E, so the bag now starting to look a lot less bingo-y. No E's or very few E's, S's and blanks left. I trail by 20, but opponent's on turn, so he's certainly got the whip hand. Great. Well, just 27 for opponent, but he has set up a scoring opportunity for me in row M with Rye. So I have Rye. Let me see what that scores. That's 35 points, decent score, and I'm keeping both E's, which is quite handy with the top right in mind, and the vowel shortage and the E shortage. Woe does take a T in front, but I don't have a play which works beginning with the W or beginning with the Y. I'm going with this. Wow, I draw a lot of vowels. Do I finally have a play which plays in row A? I do. I have an Ocre E. I do have a 7 on my rack. I have Ocre 8, but there are no 7-letter lanes on this board. Do I have anything ending in P? Not likely, and not that I can see. I could play Evo to create a new lane in column 5, retaining Cater, which is quite a good 5-letter set. I don't have a bingo ending in Y. What about a bingo ending RES? That would be pretty epic, and not one that I've studied, unless it's an extension of a 9. Not seeing it. SI, a possible 2-letter set, but not many plays end SI or end SI something. I have aero as a prefix. Jeeps takes nothing after it, so the R isn't a floater. The O is a floater, but that doesn't look useful. Well, opponent plays quite well. He doesn't create any new lanes, and he actually means that if I play over, then I don't have a 7-letter lane in column 4, so that's quite a good play. However, it does take an O in front, which I have. Does it take anything else? I don't think so. And I don't see a bingo, a 7-letter bingo with the O that can play. I have O create on my rack. Does that have an anagram? Don't think so. 8 tiles left. They're all pretty grim. I trail by only something, 30 points. This scores 29. I risk having a lot of consonants, but I think I need to play this. Let me take this back. Is there any way of getting the C doubled? That would be a bigger score. All of my vowels go in front of the S. Well, not seeing anything. So I have Ocre for 29. Just the one vowel, pretty painful. 2 tiles in the bag. I trail by 3, so quite close. I have the O for going in front of vary. Opponent could empty the bag. I'll struggle to go out in 2 with this rack. And struggle to score. I do have bowl at the moment. 18 points. Really not many scoring opportunities on this board. Opponent's got the H and the Y, but where can he play them? He may also have an O himself for ovary. And I guess the top right under Ocre is a spot for the H and the Y. My B can go in that spot, but I don't really have the necessary vowels. I wonder if I should have spent longer looking for a play which retained a vowel. I think a cater would have played. Yeah, retaining one more vowel. Retaining, yeah. Yep, I retained a T. A cater would have retained an O, so that would have slightly improved this rack. So what else am I considering on this board at the moment? All I've seen is the O front hook for vary. My scoring tile is the B, but I'm really not seeing anything for that. Opponent may play off one tile. He plays off two. Only 12 points. Fantastic. He does empty the bag. He's not going out in one, so I get 2 plays and he gets 1. But if I play bowl, he can play high oi and win. I trail by 15, 8 minutes on my clock. He still got the O for ovary, maybe that was in the bag. If I don't play that, opponent will. Or could. So, what about blocked? 20 points. High oi doesn't play. Can I go out with LNR? No. This A doesn't quite work for LAN. If only I could play one more consonant. Well, what about troll? Keeping BN. 18 points. So, can I go out with BN ban? Where else? Bun doesn't quite work. I don't think Brawl is good. Troll also stops high oi. 6 minutes on my clock. I don't think this is going to be enough. But this is 18 points, so this would give me a 3-point lead. No idea what opponent's going to do, but I suspect he just needs to stop me going out. Is there anything good I can do with just my B, supposing he blocks ban? Box. That's not bad. Am I sure there isn't another out? 5 minutes on opponent's clock, 6 minutes on mine, so we've both got tons of time. I keep looking at this Y, but I don't have a play through that. Do I have any alternatives to troll? Opponent's really not going to score very much playing through this A. And he would have to engineer an out in 2, which he may not achieve. So I am going to go with this. I think he has to block ban. Maybe he can do that by putting an O in front of res. But I do have box. I think opponent... I have nub. Look at this. I have nub through the U. Wow. Is that going to be enough? Both ban and nub are really low scoring plays. Opponent can actually place his H there. Except he can't. HU... Well, he can play hut. Wow, I think this is going to be closer than I thought. I hadn't seen this second out. But if opponent plays there, I'm only going to get 5 points for nab. Probably not enough, but I would get some count back after hut. Let me just see if hut's going to be enough for opponent. 19 points, so he'd be 16 up. I would get 10. I would need to get 6 to draw, and I would lose by 1. Wow. Except if opponent plays hut, he can't go out in 2, so I play box, and I might win that way. So, I don't know. Let's see if he plays hut. Or Huey, he could actually play HUI in that spot, keeping Torii. But I don't think he's got anywhere for Torii. Maybe he does. Well, and I'm also looking for a 6 using the letters of Torii, but I'm not seeing such a play. He's got 3 minutes on his clock. So, having found nub after a while, is there yet another spot for B and N? And this shows the value of having 2 tiles rather than 3. Far more likely that there will be spots. Well, not seeing any. And I feel I've looked around this board a lot of times now. Wow, big score for opponent. I think that's going to be enough for him. 31 points, so he's 28 in front. I get 8 on count back. I need to score 20 to win. That's not going to happen. But this is the question. Do I play nub for 9 and lose by 11? Or do I play box for 12? I'm 16 behind. Opponent plays once more, and then I've got just the solitary N. Well, that's not going to be better than playing nub. Just checking that opponent hasn't created anywhere new for N and B, and he hasn't. So nub for 9. And the final score, 410 for me, 421 for my opponent, a winning margin of 11 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. I got off to a great start with intakes. And Kentia's was the other available anagram. Now, opponent's rack, 2 U's. Doesn't look great, but there is a bingo there, and he finds it. My rack, I played Chin for 25. That looks best. And opponent has Malax for 53. So, quite a good start for both of us. So, K13, Fond, Fem and Oda, quite nice. I don't like the 2 G's, but I am creating an S spot. Fond does take an S. So I played Fog, which also has merit in that it splits up the duplicate G, so I think there's probably very little between those. Opponent's rack plays Chink. Now, no missed bingo here, fortunately, and very low scoring plays, one of which is Do for 21, and I think that's best. It's a better score than Tonged, and it's a better rack leave. Now, opponent's rack. Got a choice of bingos here, and this is a move he spent a long time on. Played Ironized in the end to take a bingo's lead. I played Tenge, and I could have played Tegs burning the S for 3 more points. Well, I'd rather keep the S, so I'm not seeing anything obviously better. Opponent plays Jeeps, and I'm 90 behind with a Grim Rack. I play Veeps for 20, keeping GNS, and that is a much better rack leave than the other rack leaves up here. This is interesting. VMP lacks synergy, but it's good to have the E. So where is this place? Snug I12, Chinks and N. And that would leave alone the E of Jeeps, or the E's of Jeeps for floaters. So how does GNS compare to EPSV? Is EPSV, or rather, is GNS 4 points better than EPSV? GNS, I would say, is worth maybe around 8 to 10 points. There is some synergy going on there. EPSV, I would say, is worse. I would say that's a lot worse. I'd put that at maybe 3 or 4, so I suspect the difference area is about 4 points. So maybe Snug would have been the play, given that it would have left these E's alone. Now, this is where my hopes rose, because opponent plays Toa, and I have Ragstone, and I would also have had Rogations through IO, if I'd spotted it. Now, opponent's rack plays Adult, and I trail by 50 with quite a grim rack. And I play Wig for 30, which I still like. It's a good score, and it's only playing off a couple of tiles. Opponent plays Fae, and I play Rye. I could have played Y for 3 more points, and I should have done. Cert is a better rack leave than Seat, although there are no E's left, so this duplicate E isn't really a problem. So actually very little between those plays. Opponent's rack, pretty grim. Plays Vary. And wow, this isn't the right thing to do at all, but obviously if I'd played Y, I would have had an R instead of an E. Well, I don't think that would have been better. I would have had Reactor, but nowhere for it, and Creator and a Crota, but none of them would have played in front of Vary, which wouldn't have been played anyway because the Y would have been unavailable. Now, I played Okrie here, and a Cater doesn't appear on this list, so maybe that only takes an S, but a Cart was available, keeping the O, and that would have been a better play. So I play Okrie. Wow, look at this. I trail by only 3, and opponent has got a bad rack. He plays IO, and I trail by 15. The bag is empty, and I played Troll for 18. I thought about Blot, but that gifted Ohio, and there's very little guarantee of an out in 2 given these rack leaves. So I still like Troll. Let's see if this Examiner 1 Best is up and working, and it's not. So I lead by 3 at this point. This is opponent's rack, and he finds a fantastic bingo in, not a bingo, a fantastic play in Ohio, which guarantees him the win. I now trail by 28, and don't have anything better than Nub. So what a game. Great start from both of us with bingos on our opening racks. Opponent established a good lead. I was able to come back with Ragstone, and then the remaining tiles in the bag were pretty flaky, and the board was quite tight. So the game really was up in the air until right at the very end, when opponent pulled Ohio out of the bag and guaranteed his victory. So well done once again to my opponent. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.